and good morning to all of you. Present on the dais, respected Shri Pankaj Satija ji, Shri N.N. Gautam sir, Shri Kapil Dhagat sir, and all the distinguished guests from various organizations from all over the country. I extend a warm and hearty welcome to all of you in the state of Chhattisgarh, in the capital city of Chhattisgarh, Raipur. As you all know, Chhattisgarh is a mineral-rich state, as my earlier speakers also told you, and one of the major coal-producing state also. So there could not have been a better venue for this important seminar than Raipur. I have been associated with power sector since almost 40 years now. In the decade of 1980s, when we joined power sector in the then Madhya Pradesh, only two modes of power generation were known to us. One was thermal and other was hydel. The major of which, particularly in western region, was thermal, more than 98% at that time. Thermal has always been the major shareholder in the capacity of power generation. As the time passed, need of other power generation resources were explored, mainly keeping in view the environmental aspects and to reduce carbon footprints. These alternative resources are renewable energy sources, mainly solar, wind, pump storage plants, nuclear plant, etc. Despite all emphasis on increasing renewable power generation, coal still remains the backbone of India's power generation. If we look into the figures of installed capacity of power generation in the country, it is about 513.7 gigawatt, out of which approximately 260 megawatt, that is about 50%, is from thermal power plants. However, if we look into the figures of power consumption, during 24-25, the power consumption in the country was approximately 1830 billion units. Out of this, about 73% share of energy was from thermal plants. As far as the state of Chhattisgarh is concerned, the contribution of coal-based thermal power stations is still higher. The total installed power generation capacity in Chhattisgarh is more than 26,000 megawatt, in which state-owned company CSPGCL, a state-owned company, has installed capacity of 2978 megawatt with 2,840 megawatt of thermal. NTPC has installed capacity of 7,680 megawatt, all thermal. And private producers have more than 13,000 megawatt of thermal power plants. In terms of power consumption, CG recorded a consumption of 32,000 million units during 24-25, out of which 84 consumption was met out through thermal power plants and 16% through renewable energy plants. From the figures which I mentioned, it is very clear that still the major contributor in power generation are coal-based thermal power plants. The main factors which make thermal as a major contributor in power generation is the reliability irrespective of the weather conditions or the time of the day. The power output of thermal plants remains stable on 24/7 basis, and there are no intermittent fluctuations in the output due to natural factors like weather. The other major advantage of thermal plants, particularly in Chhattisgarh state, is that they are mostly located on pit heads, that is near to coal reserves and rivers, due to which the per unit cost of generation is cheaper as compared to other resources. However, due to environmental effect of thermal plants, there has been a great emphasis on increasing power generation through renewable sources like solar, wind, nuclear and pump storage plants. Our Honorable Prime Minister of India has underlined India's audacious objective of achieving 500 gigawatt of renewable energy by 2030, out of which approximately 250 gigawatt has already been achieved. In view of Honorable Prime Minister's vision, there has been substantial increase in renewable power generation capacity in the country during past few years. It has been targeted to achieve 30% of power consumption of country through renewable power plants by 2030 and more than 50% by 2047. However, looking to the unmatchable advantages of thermal power plants, government is permitting installation of additional thermal generating units in the existing thermal plants. In Chhattisgarh also, government has approved installation of additional 1320 megawatt thermal units at Korba West Powerhouse, that is two units of 660 megawatt each. The work has already commenced and it is expected that they will be commissioned by 2030. In addition to this, In Madhwa thermal power plant also, additional 800 megawatt thermal unit is under consideration. In addition to this, NTPC has also planned to install additional units of about 3,720 megawatt in Chhattisgarh. Further, private sector thermal plants of more than 8,000 megawatt are also planned to be installed in Chhattisgarh over next 10 years. So, these figures indicate that coal will continue to be the major contributor, at least in Chhattisgarh state, for many more years to come. Government is also making all-out efforts to increase renewable energy sources in the state in line with the directives of Honorable Prime Minister. Solar generation is being achieved through various schemes like PM Kusum, PM Surya Ghar rooftop, solarization of all government buildings, and it is expected that in the next 10 years, more than 8,000 megawatt of solar power shall be installed in the state through various schemes. Further, pump storage plants of approximately 8,000 megawatt, battery storage plants of more than 1,000 megawatt are also planned to be commissioned in the coming years. Feasibility of installation of nuclear power plants and floating solar plants in Chhattisgarh is also being explored. The power demand of the state is increasing year by year, almost at the rate of more than 8%. The national average is 7%. Chhattisgarh increase in demand per year is more than the national average. It is about 8%. And in future, it is expected to increase further. The peak demand met in 2025 was 6,819 megawatt, which is projected to be increased to about 8,800 megawatt in 2030 as per 20th Electric Power Survey of Central Electricity Authority. The state has already a robust transmission infrastructure, and the strengthening in the infrastructure is being done regularly to cope up with the increasing power demand. The transmission capacity of the state at present is 11,200 megawatt as against peak demand of approximately 7,000 megawatt. This shows that our transmission capacity is well ahead of the demand of the state. The capacity is projected to be increased to more than 20,000 megawatt by 2030. At present, we have 137 extra high voltage substations and more than 14,000 circuit kilometers of extra high voltage transmission lines. In addition to our network, PGCIL also has a strong presence in the state. PGCIL is, as you know, central government PSU and a very prominent transmission company in the country. It has a strong presence in the state with 765 kV EHV substations at Raipur, Bilaspur and Raigad and a huge network of transmission lines spread all over the state. The state is connected to neighboring states like Odisha, Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra through EHV transmission lines. With all the enthusiastic plans for enhancement of power generation and transmission infrastructure, Chhattisgarh is going to be a major power hub in the country in near future. It has capacity not only to meet its own increasing power demand, but also to cater other states of the country due to strong transmission system. As I already said, thermal power plants shall remain to be the major contributor in power generation in the country for many more years to come. Therefore, it is the utmost need of the time that latest technological developments are adopted in coal mining, as Gautam sir also told in his speech, so as to ensure that carbon emission is considerably reduced. I am sure that in today's one-day seminar, there will be brainstorming sessions in this direction. I hope that outcome of the discussions shall pave a way to sustainable and environmental friendly coal mining. I convey my best wishes for the success of the seminar and convey my gratitude to CPA for giving me an opportunity to interact with very experienced and distinguished mining professionals from various organizations present here. Thank you. Jai Hind.